So what's going on guys, Kate is here and welcome back to a brand new video. For today I will show you the best Lost Ark's new tier list in 2022. So this game in general has bunch of fun classes to play and we have a very unique variety to choose from. But the big question is, which classes can actually do the highest damage and much more. So I've done a bunch of testing and asked Korean and EU players, and here's the best tier list that you've been waiting for. And stay tuned till the end of the video, because on top of the tier list I will rank all 18 classes from the highest damage class to the lowest. So if this sounds interesting to you, then let's get right into it. So then moving over to the first class, which is the artillerist, and he gets to be in the S tier. So artillerist is a slow gunner class. He has insane damage and can even summon a bunch of turrets that will help you to boost your DPS even more. This class is quite tanky yet very slow, so many people won't find him as fun or easy to get into. Then in PvP he can hold an area easily with his identity skill. So if you're a new player or experienced and you don't mind the slow gameplay, then you should definitely try this class out. So then moving over to the second class, which I will put at the S tier, and it is the Scrapper. So Scrapper has two ways to play this class. The first build has low high damage kills, and it's called the shock build, or then the second one is more mobile, with consistent damage type but a bit lower DPS, and it's called Taijutsu. Both playstyles deal around the same damage in a long run. Then in PvP this class is pretty strong, since it's very mobile and has good approaches. Overall this is an easy class to pick up. The different mana bars might feel weird at the start, but it won't be too difficult to get used to. So then moving over to the next class, which is the soulfist, and we want to put her right next to the Scrapper. So soulfist identity is very unusual. She has 3 stages that you can put it in. Every stage makes her stronger. If you run out of mana, then you have to regenerate to full before you can cast again. Then in PvP it's very mobile and has good engages to annoy the enemy players. Overall this class has the strongest awakening skill in the game, and it is really good class just by the damage numbers themselves. So then for the fourth class we have the Striker, and he gets to be in the S tier. So Striker is a fast brawler class. He deals quick hits and does pretty nice DPS. This class is very similar to the wardancer, but the Striker has a bit faster playstyle and does a bit more damage. Overall this is a great class, with a nice attack speed buff for the whole team, and he has a very fun bursty playstyle that will deal consistent damage in PvP and PVE. So then moving over to the next one, which is the sorceress, and we want to include her right in the A tier. So sorceress is a typical mage class that focuses on casting spells. In PvE she has 2 builds, where you can have good sustained DPS and mobility, or have a huge amount of burst but very little mobility. Then in PvP the sorceress performs very well. She has good range on skills and can peel very well. The main issue is that if you get focused, you don't have that many tools to deal with the enemy. And then the hardest part about the sorceress is decision making for both PvP and PvE. Due to the lack of mobility, you have to position yourself out of harm's way, and you have to be careful. But if you get used to it, you will be able to do super high damage. So then moving over to the next one, which is the deadeye, and we want to include him right next to the sorceress class. So deadeye in PvE is a hard class that has 3 different weapons. The main DPS weapon is the shotgun. This class is very strong. It can be even top DPS if you manage everything perfectly. The issue with this class is that it's super squishy. It's very easy to get killed while using your shotgun skills. So then in PvP this class is great. It's very mobile and annoying to deal against. Overall this is a very hard class to pick up and get used to, and in hardcore PvP it will require low ping to perform to its maximum potential. So then for one of the last A tier classes we have the new release class called Arcanist, more commonly known as Arcana. So Arcanist is a mage class that uses dark magic cards. She has RNG mechanics in her identity skill, which can make your damage fluctuate in certain fights. This is definitely not an easy class to pick up and play, but if you know how to use it to your best advantage, then you will be able to do a crazy amount of damage. The Arcanist main playstyle is to build up stacks with the blue skills, and then do big damage with the red skills. So if this sounds fun to you, then try this class out and enjoy. So then moving over to the next class, which is the wardancer, and we won't include her right in the A tier. So like I mentioned, the wardancer is a fast-paced fighter class. In PvE, she deals quick hits and does pretty high DPS. For your playstyle, you have to charge orbs to deal your highest damage. Most people use the no orb engraving for easier playstyle, but it's up to you. In PvP, this class is hard to master but easy to pick up. So overall, the wardancer is a great class, with nice attack speed buff for the whole team and much more. So then for the 9th class we have the deadblade, and we won't include her right in the B tier. So deadblade is a rogue/assassin type of class. She has great damage, good debuffs, and overall performs very good. Then in PvP she's kinda annoying since she can have a lot of freezing skills in her kit. In general, deadblade is very mobile class, fairly easy to pick up and play, and most importantly, with the right build you will be able to do super high damage. And by the way, after you're done watching this video, I have made a full in-depth build guide for every single class in Lost Ark. So if you're interested in the highest damage build for each class, then scroll through my channel and you will find exactly what you're looking for. So then moving over to the next class, which is the berserker, and we want to put him right in the B tier. So berserker is a bit slow class that deals massive amounts of damage. Generally, this class is regarded as one of the top performing classes for solo and group content. His identity skill is a burst mode that gives him boost in power and a special skill to use. Then in PvP, the berserker is very strong against newer players. But then climbing high in the rankings will be difficult, because the berserker is easy to outplay. So overall this class is very easy to pick up and learn, and in PvE if you're using one of my two builds, then you will be able to do crazy amount of AoE damage. So then moving over to the next class, which is the shadowhunter, and she gets to be right next to the berserker. So shadowhunter is a demon based class. In PvE she plays more like a fighter rather than assassin. She has good range on skills and damage. There are two ways to play this class. The first build focuses on demonic form, where you get bunch of fun abilities to use, but you get a bit less damage. Or then the second build disables the demon form and you purely use your human form skills for the highest damage possible. Then in PvP your transformation makes enemies scared of you, if you're especially playing against newer players. So overall this is a fairly easy class to pick up and learn. The playstyle of the shadowhunter is super fun and you will be able to do a bunch of damage. So then moving over to one of the last B tier classes, and it is the gunlancer. So gunlancer is the tankiest class that the game has to offer. This class makes the PvE content very easy, because he can face the boss head on, making it easier for your teammates to hit the boss from behind. Do keep in mind that this class also does good damage. It's very safe and easy class to pick up and play. So overall, if you're a solo PvE player, or if you're looking for the closest thing to a tank build in Lost Ark, then this is the class for you. I want to straight away clarify that this is not a bad class whatsoever. It just has a very good balance between having a good damage and high survivability. And as this tier list is specifically only meant for the highest damage classes, so that's why he's in this category. So then moving over to the last B tier class, and it is the destroyer. So destroyer is a slow but very hard hitting class. He has a lot of shielding from his skills, and he can do crazy amount of damage. In general, destroyers are very good, fun and not hard class to pick up and learn. Usually you want to be playing at the disruptor/engager role, because in PvP destroyer has lots of knockdowns and super armor skills, making you really good at sticking to the immobile classes like bards, paladins and much more. So then moving over to the next class, which is the glaivier, aka the lance master, and we want to put him right in the C tier. So glaivier is a spear wielding class. He's very fast paced, that has to swap between two weapons, but he's easier to manage than deadeye. The glaivier has to charge 3 bars and then swap to the other weapon to get a huge damage boost. This class is the only one with a real counter skill that is very useful in endgame raids. In PvP he's very strong and fun class to use, so I really do recommend to at least try this class out. So then moving over to the next one, which is the sharpshooter, and we won't include him right next to the glaivier. So sharpshooter is a bow user type of class. If we just take a look at the raw damage numbers, then this class does more damage than few other classes in the B tier, but it's only good for pure damage. Besides anything else, you can't really offer anything to your team. So by counting in the playstyle, no buffs or stagger, so that's why he's in the C tier. And then in PvP, he's a very difficult class to fight, and your enemies always have to look out for the sharpshooter, as you have a stealth ability. So then moving over to the last C tier class, and it is the gunslinger. So the gunslinger is one of the hardest classes to learn for PvP and PvE. This class is similar to the deadeye, but it's still very different. Gunslinger mainly uses his rifle to do damage. He's easier to play than deadeye and can reach full damage potential a lot faster. And then lastly, in PvP, the gunslinger is definitely an annoying class to face up against. He has a lot of utility and mobility. That makes this class very strong, and if you play it right, then you will be able to do really good damage. So then moving over to the next class, which is the paladin, and we want to put him right in his own category called support. So paladin is a support type of class. He has yellow and blue skills. Yellow skills will activate your support abilities, and blue skills are meant for damage. As your support, this class is wanted in any type of endgame content. Then as well, the paladin has the best damage boosting support in the game. Then in PvP, he can be very annoying if played correctly. But this class is not the easiest to pick up, since you have to be very quick with the supporting skills, and you have to be capable of placing them at the correct area. So then moving over to the last and final class, which is the bard, and she gets to be placed in the last support category. So the bard is a support class. She can use shields, attack buffs, and heals to her allies, which makes her very useful in raids and dungeons. Then in PvP, she focuses on keeping allies alive and buffed while being very annoying to the enemies. The bard is immobile and not an easy class, as you must know the correct timing and placement of your supporting skills, but overall the bard is a healer type of class. Again, I want to clarify that this is an amazing support class that focuses on support and not damage. So that's why she is in this separated category. So now finally we have come to the last and final part, where you can see all the classes ranked from the highest damage to the lowest. Lost Ark right now is in one of the best places ever, and most of these classes are very well balanced and close in DPS numbers. In my opinion, if you enjoy a specific class or build, then you should definitely prioritize that over some DPS numbers, because the more fun you're having while playing, the better you will be able to play, and you will be able to outperform the higher damage classes by just pure skill. And then lastly, thanks to my Korean and EU friends for testing and helping me to create this updated tier list, and that's about it. So I really do appreciate everyone for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions, feedback, or maybe you have a different idea about a class on this Lost Ark tier list, then you're feel free to leave your comments in the comment section down below. And like I said in the middle of the video, if you like any of these classes and if you're looking for the highest damage build, then I have made specific guides for every single class. So just scroll through my channel and you will find the best build for you. And while you're doing that, please click like, subscribe, and enable that notification bell, so this way you could support the channel and you won't miss any more amazing content from me. With all this said, you have an amazing day and I will see you in my next video, so take it easy, peace.